Hello, Scrappy Crafters. This is Renee with ScrappyRay Papercrafts, coming to you with a quick and simple card from a sketch that I use. I want to start by showing you the materials that you need. You're going to need embellishments. I'm using the natural matte dots. The nice thing about that is if you choose white, blue, green, or crumb, they'll work. You're going to need dimensionals, some glue or a tape runner, paper snips. I like to use the take your pick tool for my gems and for putting on my dimensionals. I am using this Love and Hugs from Greenery Lane, and then you'll just need a sentiment that'll fit inside of a 2-inch circle. Then I'm using basic beige cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have 1/8 on here, but it's actually 4 1/4. And then this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. I embossed it with the Forever Plaid, but there's a perfect one. It's on back order right now, the 100 Acre Woods, that goes with the Winnie the Pooh set. It's on back order, so I'm going to make do with what I have, which is the Forever Plaid. Then I have a piece of Designer Series paper cut that's 1.5 by 5, and then I cut up the center here at 3/4, and I'm going to make that into a pennant. I have another piece of DSP that is 2 3/4 by 3 1/4 and 3/4 by 4. Then I have more cardstock. This is Mossy Meadow, and I wanted just a hint of the green to make this background stand up. I'll show you here. So if I took this and put it directly on my cardstock, most of it would blend in. You just see the green. But I wanted it to pop, so I put the tiniest amount of green on each side. I cut it 1/8 of an inch larger, which makes a 1/16 of an inch on each side, and then see how that just stands off of the paper. So I did that. This green piece is 7/8 by 4. It's the same length, just 1/8 of an inch larger. And then this cardstock is 2 7/8 by 3 3/8. So those are all the pieces that we need. But before I start creating the card, I want to talk to you about how to change the mood of your card by the cardstock that you use. So I really wanted to go with this muted basic beige. So I chose that for my foundation. It goes really well. Very calming, subtle card. But just by changing the background, the cardstock in the back, will show you how this changes the appearance of the card. So then see, this is more earthy. I really like the green, in case you didn't know that. It's my favorite color. So go with that. And then there are lots of colors you can choose from here. So the next one I'm going to pull out is the Pecan Pie, which will focus on Owl and the Honey Pot, and just, it's not as cute, at least not to me, but if you're a brown fan, you might like that. Then this is the new hydrangea hue. It's kind of blue, kind of purple, but if you do this, it makes Eeyore pop. So you could do that, and then you could change the background. There's another piece of paper if you decide to go with the hydrangea hue. Let me pull out this other piece. There's a couple different background colors that you could do. So see, you could pick this background. I just love the way those two go together. You could make that your stripe going across instead of this piece here. And then next we're going to focus on Tigger. Who doesn't love Tigger? You do that, then it's more playful, more vibrant. Not sure what I would do for that green stripe. Let me see what else they have. We could tone that down. We could use the background of this. See where it's this way. You could You could change the background that way. And then the last one that I wanted to show you will focus on Piglet's balloon. And this is our new Golden Glow. And again, it's very calming. I just love that color. So you could also do your, you could use basic beige, or you could continue with the crumb, or you could continue with basic beige, or you can switch to crumb cake and then have it very muted. This is a very clean look here without any green added to it. So lots of options, lots of colors to pull through there, but I chose to go with the basic beige and the green. So the first thing I want to do is do my stamping, and I'm doing Love and Hugs. I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow ink. Like I said, you can use any sentiment. It just has to fit into the 2-inch circle. You could make a bigger circle, change the layout. So these are just suggested measurements. And so if you decide that you want a different sentiment that's a bigger one, or if it's a smaller one, go for it. Okay. Next, I'm going to glue my DSP and my cardstock together. So this is 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. And I'm going to use the glue, set that on here, and then I'm going to use my bone folder to smooth out the glue so that we don't have lines. We don't want to see the glue. It'll leave raised edges if you don't spread out the glue. So just take the side of your bone folder and do that. Then I'm going to turn this into a pennant. Like I said, I've already cut. So I'm going to take my scissors and go from the point of the paper to the tip of my cut, going that way. I might have to cut a little bit more off. And then I turn it over and do the same thing. I go from this tip here up to the tip of my paper, cut that off, and then those are finished. Finished with the scissors. I'm going to adhere this piece on. I cannot wait for the 100 Acre Woods embossing folder to come out because it's so cute. It's a map. It's an embossed layer of the map, which goes really well with this DSP, which is a map. And then this is textured, so I don't have to use my bone folder to get the glue on there. So I'm going to do that. You could put cardstock behind here if you wanted to, just a small layer, but I didn't. I decided it wasn't necessary. And the back is the woods. It's really subtle. I'll show you the paper when I'm finished making the cards. It's a very subtle paper, and then Pooh is climbing a tree on the back of this one. All right. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to adhere it to this, just the tiniest bit of green showing on each side. And I'm just going to use my finger to smooth out the glue on that one. You can kind of feel it. Oh, I bent it. All right. It'll still work. Okay. Then I'm going to take this and glue it to my paper. Now, one thing I want to check when I made the other card is where the figures are, because I don't want to have to cover them up. And this goes just about in the middle. And see, I'll cover his head. I don't want to cover his head, so I'm going to say right about here. I'm going to put it right about here. Okay. And you can cut it the whole length of the paper, but I just cut it to go over the embossed layer. And if it looks off the grid, it is. It is not designed to be a perfect grid. Okay, then I'm going to add dimensionals to the back of my paper here. I want it to pop up. And I mark the back of my dimensionals. That'll let me know if I've missed a piece when I'm popping off the protective covers. Sometimes those like to stick. I'll go there. Oh, I have one too many. I put one on my finger, but it's okay because we'll put it on the back of that one. Then I'm using my take your pick, and I'm just going to pop these off, and see, when I pop them off, then you know they're popped off because, see, the black line will disappear. All right, put those in there. Then I'm going to put this on here. I want this down a little bit because I don't want Tigger's head to disappear. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so we're going to put this down. It's on dimensionals. Then we're going to add this. Now with this, I don't want to put a dimensional here because it'll make it lopsided. So I'm going to put a dimensional on this side, and then I'll put liquid glue over here. So let me go ahead and take that dimensional that I accidentally popped off. Put it on there, and then put some glue over here. I love it. They even put owl on the way it's spelled in the book. All right. You could put it at an angle. You could put it straight, wherever you like. Okay. Now that's done. My last step is to add the embellishments. And this will work if you're using crumb, mossy meadow, or white. If you're going to use the new colors like the golden glow or the hydrangea hue, there are gems that would match on those, or you could just not use a gem. So they're a little trickier to get off because they're kind of fat, but yep. So I'm gonna go put one there. Maybe we'll go with this one. And then I'll put one there, and then I'm going to add a small one. You always want an odd amount of gems. So if I did 3, or I could do 5, I could do 6, and you want them to form a triangle, a visual triangle. So here I did it this way. If I added more, I might put another one here, and maybe another one here. As long as it forms a triangle each way that you look, you're good to go. Okay, so that's it on this card. I did make another sample. Pull that one out. You see I put the love and hugs in a different location, and I put my gems in a different location. And Eeyore, he's being funny there. And Rue, so you could pull out that color. It said pecan pie, but I feel like that pecan is too brown, or too, not brown, but too red orange tint to it. So I'm wondering about early espresso. That might be too dark, but I feel like it wouldn't clash so much. So anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this card. Give you inspiration to use the dimensions that I gave you to create your own. And then let me pull out my paper, show you the back. So this is the front that I used, and then on the back it has a the basic is side B, is more generic. You could use it for most anything. Here are my scraps from that. And then the stripes I used, the back of that. Now there are dies to use to cut these pieces out. You see I sort of ruined that one. Those would be cute, very vintage looking. Here's the 100 Acre Woods I absolutely love, and I think the embossing folder will make this pop. And here are the woods. Look at Pooh, just so isolated out there. It truly looks like he's in the 100 Acre Woods. And then another version of all of the characters together. I love the honey pots. And then there's that hydrangea hue that you could use for a background. Pooh, lots and lots of Pooh with honey pots. This would be fun for a card that is longer. You could cut it that way. And then more neutral. I think that is the Barely Blush on there. Let's see, I just showed you that one. Oh, this one here. This, again, very simple. You could just cut them and make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards with this one. If you flip it over, it has the hydrangea hue. That would be a nice background. And I think that's it. That is all of the options for this paper pack. Lots and lots of options. I think I'll be making more. I do not have the stamp set or the dies, so I'm being creative and using what I have, and hopefully that will encourage you to use your DSP even if you don't have all of the coordinating products. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, like and share my page, and visit me at ScrappyRay Papercrafts for more tips, tricks, and card ideas. Thank you and have a great day.